What's up everybody, Emerald here from Emerald's Daily Carry, and welcome to another exclusive first look at the Arterra Falcon2L Pro that's currently on pre-sale. We're hooking it up again for you guys with an exclusive Emerald's Daily Carry discount, making the Falcon2L Pro 35% off MSRP. Special thanks to Arterra for working with us to give you guys an exclusive discount and to go over the Falcon2L Pro before it releases to the public. In this video, we're going to be covering everything that you need to know about the Falcon2L Pro, including the specs, the materials, features, the differences between this and the previous Falcon 2-liter, the differences between this sample and the production model, the comparison between the Falcon 2-liter and the EVERGOODS Civic Access Sling 2-liter in X Pac. Plus, at the end, we're going to be sharing details on the pre-sale, shipping information, and how you can use the coupon code to get your 35% off. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting out with the dimensions, it's 13 inches long, 5.5 inches wide, and 3.3 inches deep, with a listed weight of 9 ounces and 2 liters of capacity. For the materials, the Falcon2L Pro is going to be available in black, army olive that I have here, and a coyote brown. The face fabric is going to be a Challenge EPX200. This material is liner laminated on the backside, so some areas inside the bag are unlined. But as we stated in our honey badger video, this is going to be a really strong, durable, lightweight fabric. It's got a little bit of a crunch to it, but it has a very tactical feel in the hand. The liner material inside is going to be a 210D ripstop nylon. Your 3 external zippers are going to be Zoom matte PU coated zippers. And inside of the main compartment, you have one zippered flat pocket, and this is going to be a YKK reverse coil. All the hardware on the bag is going to be from Duraflex, and we have some Woojin magnetic buckles that you can see here for the Falcon Wing. And looking at the back, we have a very large polyester mesh back panel. So going over some of the features of the bag, starting out with its size, it's going to be a perfect size for small essentials, but small enough to be a little bit more active for your trail running or your mountain biking. Probably the main feature of this sling is going to be the Falcon Wing, which is a magnetic beaver tail on the front side of this sling bag. This allows you to have external carry options for larger, bulkier pieces of gear. You can fit an entire water bottle here. You could put an umbrella here. If you live somewhere like Seattle, where I do, where sometimes it's raining and then it's sunny and then raining again, the beaver tail attachment kind of makes this sling expand past the 2-liter capacity that it is listed at. And then you can fit things like a jacket or bigger, bulkier items that you would normally fit in a 5+ liter sling bag, but still maintaining a very low profile footprint of a 2-liter sling bag. One other benefit of the beaver tail is that it kind of offers a little bit of compression if you're not going to fully pack out this sling. So it can expand when you need it, and it can compress all of your contents into a smaller form factor when not in use. Now let's talk about the differences between the Pro and the regular Falcon 2L. Obviously, first off the bat is going to be materials. Everything is a little bit more elevated on the material end of things. You have a completely different external material in the EPX200. The Zoom zippers are really easy to maneuver, especially around this corner for the main compartment, which is probably where a lot of zippers get caught. All of the webbing material that's used on this sling bag has been upgraded to seatbelt nylon. We have a new additional rear panel exterior zippered pocket. This is going to be really great for concealed carry of your phone or maybe a passport. The Falcon2L Pro also has a new interior zippered compartment that doubles as a large slip pocket. And we have 2 stretch mesh organizers in the main compartment that's also new to this version of the Falcon2L. The key fob and leash got relocated to the front pocket. Also new to the Falcon lineup is this security mesh pocket. This slip pocket will also fit an iPhone 16 Pro. I have a 15 Pro here just to show you guys the size difference. And as you can see, there's definitely room to spare here at the top and on the sides. This change from micro-organization to more of a security pocket with this larger dump area actually came from user feedback from the first gen of Falcon 2. So shout out to all of you guys for making your voices heard. We have some more refined interior branding with this label. On the Pro models, you're going to have a limited edition orange accent, so that's pretty cool, but it's just going to give you a little bit more information about the specs of the bag. Now it's time to talk about the differences between the sample model that I have here and the production model that you're going to be getting in your hands. First off, talking about this interior label, it's going to be orange instead of the white that you see here on the Pro models. The white label will only be used on non-Pro bags moving forward. With this interior zippered pocket in the main compartment, instead of opening right to left, it's actually going to open left to right. So basically the opposite of what you see here. The next change you're going to see is on this front security pocket. This stretch mesh inside of this pocket is going to be a little bit tighter. They're also going to be changing the color of this key fob and leash to match Arterra orange, so imagine it being this color, which I think is pretty cool. And before we move on to our comparison between this and the EVERGOODS Civic Access Sling, let's just look at our loadout. In our back security pocket, I have my iPhone. Inside of this security pocket on the front, I have my really beefy key fob and all of my keys. Inside of the stretch mesh, I have some eye drops and dental floss. In the main compartment, I just loaded it out as if I was gonna go on like a longer day trip or something like that. So I have my sunglasses in a Bristow lens case. I got my wallet. I have a 5,000 milliamp hour MagSafe battery, and I have a point and shoot camera with my AirPods Pro. So that's pretty much what I would be taking with me on a regular day trip if I was gonna be out in the city. I think you can fit slightly more than this. I did not use the interior zippered pocket in the main compartment, and I did not use the Falcon Wing, which I would probably do if I was gonna actually be using this bag and bringing my rain jacket, for example. To deploy the Falcon Wing, it's pretty easy. They're just two magnetic buckles right here that you push down on. Here's my jacket as an example. You just lay it into the center here, and then you would reattach the buckles. You can cinch down appropriately if your item is a little bit oversized. So the more that you pack this out, the more tension that it's gonna actually have on these buckles, which is what is keeping your jacket in place. And this is kind of what it would look like if you have the Falcon Wing deployed. And now let's compare the Falcon2L Pro with the EVERGOODS Civic Access Sling 2-liter in X Pac. According to the internet, the EVERGOODS Civic Access Sling in X Pac is one of the main competitors to the Falcon2L Pro. I hope in this video that I can show you that the Venn diagram of similarities are very slim. I would say that the only thing that is similar about these bags is that they're both made out of premium materials that are very water resistant. They're both at a premium price point. They both are 2 liters in size, and they both have a very fanny pack orientation style in mind with the way that you carry. And that's basically where the similarities end. Other than that, the silhouettes are completely different. The opening styles of both of them are completely different. The main features and the approach to carry are completely different. So let's go over those differences so that you can understand maybe which one you would gravitate towards depending on your use case. Starting out with the material differences, on the Falcon2L Pro, you're gonna have Challenge EPX200, and on the Civic Access Sling in X Pac, you're gonna be getting X42 fabric. The X42 fabric is a little bit rougher and a little bit thicker in the hand, but they're both gonna give you excellent waterproofness and durability. For zippers, it's gonna be YKK AquaGuard versus Zoom matte zippers. They're both gonna work extremely well in terms of how smooth and buttery they feel when you're using them. I would say that the silhouette of the cast just makes those zippers feel a little bit smoother because you're not going around actual corners like you are on the Falcon. But again, they're both very smooth. They're gonna give you a lot of water resistance out the gate. Finally, the last material difference to call out is going to be on the back panel. On the EVERGOODS side of things, you're going to get a 50D monofilament 3D spacer mesh, and on the Arterra Falcon, you're going to get a polyester mesh. Based on hand feel, I think that the cast is a little bit more refined in this regard, but the fact that this polyester mesh is a little bit wider of a surface area on the bag, I actually found that this to be a little bit more comfortable on my chest. Now talking about feature differences, the main feature on the Arterra is going to be the Falcon Wing. It's the beaver tail that allows you to have external carry. There's also an additional D-hook attachment here on the side of the hip belt. So if you wanted to do a clipping attachment thing, you do have a D-ring for that. The Civic Access Sling does not have any external carry options built in. However, I've definitely carried a water bottle on a carabiner onto this strap before, so you can do it. It is nice that the Falcon just has that built in. Both of these bags are gonna have 2 segmentation pockets, 1 main compartment and 1 quick access compartment. The way that they do it is a little bit different. On the EVERGOODS bag, your main compartment volume is gonna be on the front of the bag. And on the Falcon, your main compartment volume is the second compartment. So just a little bit different in terms of where that main compartment volume actually sits from your chest. On the Falcon, it's gonna be a little bit closer to your chest, and on the EVERGOODS bag, it's going to be farther away from your chest. Depending on what you have loaded out, that could be a determining factor for you. We also have different approaches. Inside of this main compartment, we have a key leash and nothing else. There's no other slip pockets inside of the EVERGOODS bag. And on the Falcon, we have 1 zippered flat compartment and 2 mesh compartments here on the side. So really, it depends on the way that you like to segment your stuff. If you just want an open cavity design with unobstructed volume, or you want a little bit more segmentation inside of your main compartment. Looking at the quick access compartment that are on both of these slings, on the Falcon, this is more considered a security pocket. You have a key leash and a large slip mesh compartment here, but the fact that it is kind of covered with the Falcon means that there's 2 steps in this process in order to actually access this pocket, so that's why they kind of consider it more as a security pocket. In the Civic Access Sling, you're going to get a lot more segmentation for smaller, flat EDC items. You have a lot of slip pockets here. You have an empty space in the middle for your phone, and then a little bit more segmentation, a larger slip pocket, and then 2 internal dividers inside of this mesh compartment. One of the things about the Civic Access Sling that you have to be aware of is, especially for this front compartment, because it's not segmented at all, and if you ever do carry this on your chest, a lot of your items can start falling to this side or this side, depending on what shoulder you're carrying it on. And that can sometimes mean that things will fall out of this pocket just because of the way that the zipper is oriented. On the Falcon Sling with the main compartment, you're not gonna have that much of an issue with it because of the way that the zipper is kind of 3D'd like inside of this dimension. So the top flap is always gonna open up like this, and especially because you have a lot more segmentation in this main compartment, a little bit less issue as far as having your things slip out of it. One thing to mention about the Falcon is it has this back zippered pocket. I just found that in any orientation that I wore this bag, this zippered pocket was very hard to get to. So I would even consider this to be more of a security pocket than the one in the front, especially because this zipper tucks away into a zipper garage. It's a little bit hard to find and fight for this zipper puller, especially if it's close against your body. This back panel is very curved. You're gonna get a similar situation here on the EVERGOODS bag because it has this rounded shape. It's going to conform again to your body. But as you can see, even just from the profile, the bending is a lot more pronounced on the Falcons. So just keep that in mind if that's a concern for you. Now let's talk about the strap differences and strap management. I think this is an area where a lot of people would argue that EVERGOODS doesn't do a great job at, just because they don't even give you strap keepers on a lot of their bags. On this sling, they do have a strap management system. It's not the most elegant solution in the world. It's basically just a nylon strap that you bundle all the excess strap inside of it. So it kind of dangles here on the side. It does give you micro adjustment though. So you have your large buckle adjuster, and then you have a micro adjuster with this strap. This nylon strap keeper can get undone accidentally and you just have to re-roll it. The other difference on the strap keeper versus the EVERGOODS is the buckle placement. So the buckle is actually on the left on the EVERGOODS bag and it's on the right on the Falcon. They both function exactly the same. It's just gonna be about muscle memory. I just tend to prefer my buckles on the left. Comparing this strap adjustment style to the EVERGOODS bag, you have 2 different strap adjusters here. You have an elastic strap keeper, and then you actually have a plastic strap keeper as well to keep this line flush with the body of the strap, which I like. It's a very good idea. Sometimes, depending on how you position this, you can get into situations where this will start to flap out a little bit like that. It's not that big of a deal, just like pull it over, but I think that the best way to adjust this is you would put 2 hands here and you would pull from the buckle and also on the plastic adjuster here at the back. And that's how you would make your adjustments. If you're only doing it from the buckle side, that's, I think, where you can get into weird situations like this, and then you just kind of have to, you know, rearrange the strap a little bit. So if I had to rate it, I think the Civic Access Sling is a little bit better with micro adjustments to your strap, and the Falcon strap is a little bit better at the set it and forget it method. So depending on how you like to carry, 2 different options for you to choose from. So going over the fit and carry of both of these slings, I think this is where the silhouette of the bag is gonna come into play. For the EVERGOODS bag, it's a little bit more banana shaped. It's a lot longer and skinnier than the Falcon. So that's gonna carry and feel and look a little bit different. The Falcon, it's a little bit shorter, it's a little bit wider, and it's a lot deeper than the Civic Access Sling. They're both equally comfortable to carry in every orientation. However, I think the Civic Access Sling is a little bit more comfortable to carry on the hip just because of its lower profile design in the depth department specifically. And I would pick the Falcon to carry on my chest or my back. The silhouettes of these bags are also going to play a part in what kind of items you can expect to carry in them. For the Civic Access Sling, you can fit quite a bit inside of here. The way that it's constructed, you might lose a little bit of volume here on the sides, especially in the main compartment, just because it's going to be conforming to your chest or your hips. And if you put anything inside of the quick access compartment here, it's going to push things forward inside of this main compartment, so you're also going to be losing volume that way. The Falcon has a little bit of a similar problem with the volume, especially in the corners, but as you can see, it's a lot more rounded out here. There's not actually any volume in these corners where the Civic Access Sling does. So it feels like you can take a little bit more advantage of the volume inside of the Falcon. You're still gonna have issues with volume, but instead of it being issues on the sides, it's more in the depth department because a lot of these pockets stack up on top of each other. You have your back flat zippered pocket, you have another back flat zippered pocket in the main compartment, 2 slip pockets here in the main compartment, and then your security pocket, and then on top of that you have a Falcon Wing. So this thing can get really, really deep fast. So those are all the details that I can give you about both of these slings. If you ask me, who do I think each of these are for? I think the Civic Access Sling is a little bit better if you need a lot more segmentation for your smaller EDC items and quick access to a few medium-sized EDC items like a point-and-shoot camera. I've used this as a hip pack while I'm biking, and it's been really awesome to have like snacks on the go, access to my phone, and things like that. This is also really great on the trail for city walking, a really sleek and streamlined setup. I think the Falcon is gonna be better as a pocket reliever with expandable storage for those unexpected use cases. If you're gonna go on an all-day adventure and you have no idea what's happening, but you need to be ready for anything, I think this is a little bit of a better option. If you have bulkier items to carry, this is gonna be a better option. If you need external carry options, the Falcon's gonna be better. However, one of the main trade-offs of this is that this is a little bit more involved in its carry style than the Civic Access Slings. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of zippers, there's a lot of magnets, there's a lot of slip pockets. So again, I don't know who you are, I'm just trying to give you all the facts so that you can make an informed purchasing decision. You might be leaning this way one day and you might lean this way the other day, and that's why it's really awesome that both of these options exist. We're not saying that one is better than the other. It really depends on your situation, your needs, what you think looks cool. Both of these bags are extremely well made. They're both at the top of the game as far as what you can expect from this style of carry. They're both approaching carry problems in 2 very different ways, so you're gonna have to do a little bit of research on your end to see who you are as a carry person and which of these bags is gonna be right for you. Hopefully I was able to describe all the differences and nuance between both of them so you can make an informed carrying decision. But if I didn't, leave a comment down below and I will try my best to help you in your indecision. But that is the comparison between the Falcon and the Civic Access Sling. And now it's time to talk about the details of the pre-sale, shipping, and the coupon information. The pre-sale for the Falcon2L Pro is going to be ending on December 12th, 2025. If you added a Falcon to your Honey Badger Kickstarter order, both of them are going to ship together in February of 2026. Pre-orders of the Falcon2L Pro on the Arterra website will start shipping out in December of 2025. If you made it to the end of this video and you decided the Falcon2L Pro is the right one for you, we have a 30% off coupon code for our audience. It's Emerald's Falcon2L Pro. Make sure you put that inside of the coupon code when you check out on Arterra's website. This code is only valid for Falcons that are purchased on Arterra's website and not as an add-on on the Kickstarter campaign for the Honey Badger. Well, that's gonna do it for this one. Special thanks again to Arterra for sending out the Falcon2L Pro for us to give you guys a first exclusive look. Make sure you head over to Arterra's website to lock in those prices with our coupon code. My name is Emerald from Emerald's Daily Carry. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.